He was born during the harvest time in October. Okay? Read.
It is in the last degree incredible, then, that the birth of Christ could have taken place at the end of December.
There's no way the birth of Christ could have taken place in December. There's zero chance. So here's the problem. Not just that you're celebrating December 25th. You're celebrating in a month in which Christ could not have been born in at all. You chose a month in which he couldn't have been born in to celebrate his birthday. You're not even close. Read. Jump down and so we can go into the reason. Go ahead.
Indeed, it is admitted by the most learned and candid writers of all parties.
It's admitted by major scholars. Go ahead.
That the date of our Lord's birth cannot be determined, and that within the Christian church, no such festival as Christmas was ever heard of.
No such thing of Christmas was ever heard of in the Christian church. Read.
Till the 3rd century.
Until the 3rd century. Which really, they talked about inside the 4th century, around 325, with Constantine and the Council of Nicaea. So there was no such thing as Christmas before the early 4th century. Read.
And that not till the 4th century.
And not until the 4th century, read.
Was far advanced did it gain much observance.
Did it gain much observance. So you mean to tell me they didn't know when Christ was born until 400 years after his birth? No. The Roman Catholic Church infiltrated Christ's teachings and tricked the people through time into paganism and worshiping a satanic deity from ancient Babylon that was born December 25th. That's what happened. Go ahead.
How then did the Roman Church fix on December the 25th as Christmas Day?
How did the Roman Church fix on December 25th as Christ's birthday? Read.
Why thus?
Why this?
Long before the 4th century, and long before the Christian era itself.
Long before the 4th century, and long before Christ's era, read.
A festival was celebrated among the heathen.
Hold up now. A festival was celebrated amongst the heathen. The Gentiles. What is this festival?
At that precise time of the year.
At that precise time of the year, December 25th. Go ahead.
In honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven.
Hold up. What?
In honor of the birth of the son.
In honor of the birth of the son. Read.
Of the Babylonian
queen. Of the Babylonian
queen of heaven.
Queen of heaven. Worshipping Semiramis' son, Nimrod. Israel was taken down during Jeremiah's time for the worshiping of the Queen Mother of Heaven. So the whole earth had been tricked into worshiping Satan's child. The Yule child. It says the Yule child because Yule, you have the Yule law. What do you make? A Yule log is the making of a fire. Who's coming out of the fire or coming down the chimney out of the fire? Satan or Santa. It's the same worship of the mother, which is Semiramis, the child, which is Nimrod, and the father, whom is Satan himself. So in Christianity, they're worshiping the child of Satan. Nimrod. December 25th. The pagans and the heathens had this as a custom before Christ was born. Read.
And it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen,
in order to compromise or to facilitate the heathen, that means to compromise with the heathen, what do?
And to swell the number of the nominal adherents of Christianity.
So that they can bring more Gentiles or heathens into the church, what did they do?
The same festival was adopted by the Roman Church.
The same festival, this satanic festival, was adopted by the Roman Catholic church. It was adopted. That means Peter had nothing to do with this. The disciples had nothing to do with this. Christ absolutely had nothing to do with this. And the Most High himself had absolutely nothing to do with them instituting Christmas as a day of worship for Christ. It was adopted by the pagans. The pagans put it in there. Read. So don't say that it doesn't matter. It's the reason for the season. Jesus is the reason for the season. And it doesn't matter. It does matter because the spirit of Nimrod and the spirit of Satan and the spirit of the so-called Babylonian queen mother of heaven comes with Christmas. So it does matter if you're worshiping Satan. Okay? Finish reading.
Giving it only the name of Christ.
Giving it the name of Christ. So it's the same day. They just switched the name. Go ahead.
This tendency on the part of Christians to meet paganism halfway.
They met paganism halfway. So they compromised the Most High truth to get members. Read.
Was very early developed. And we find Tertullian, even in his day about the year 230, bitterly lamenting the inconsistency of the disciples of Christ in this respect.
So even the Tertullian, he was a brother that also was upset. And it was wrote in the Tertullian about, there was lamenting or crying about how Christ's truth is being compromised by the pagan Romans. Read.
And contrasting it with the strict fidelity of the pagans to their own superstition.
So now you're using the pagan superstition, the pagan way, to come to the Most High. So what is this? This is the total infiltration of Christ's church. A total hijacking of Christ's work. This is what Christ warned his followers from, saying that many shall come in my name, saying I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That they would come into the church and take the church and make the world worship Satan with Christ's name. Read.
By us, says he, who are strangers to the Sabbaths and new moons and festivals, once acceptable to the Most High.
We used to deal with the Sabbaths and new moons and festivals to the Most High. That's what our people used to do. That's what it says here. Read.
The Saturnalia, the feast of January.
Now you got Saturnalia. Saturnalia. You know that Saturnalia starts with Saturn or Satan. It's a festival during that whole period of time strictly to the deity Satan himself, to Lucifer. It's called Saturnalia. Read.
The feast of January.
The feast of January. That's why they go into Happy New Year's, even though there's nothing new in the dead of winter. Read.
The Brahmalia, the Matronalia are now frequented. Gifts are carried to and fro.
What they do with this holiday?
Gifts are carried to and fro.
Gifts are carried to and fro. Okay? So the giving of gifts have nothing to do with some three wise men that are not in the scriptures. The gift giving is under Saturnalia. And even during this period, it tell you that the bosses or the owners serve their servants once a year. You notice that if you work on your job, they'll throw you a Christmas party and the boss is all nice and he'll take care of you and he'll look out and give you a gift certificate or something. Those things are part of the Saturnalia worship, where the master for one day must become a servant. Read.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, go ahead.
Presents are made with dinner, and sports and banquets are celebrated.
Hold up. Read that again. What is celebrated?
New Year's Day. Presents are made with dinner.
Presents are made with dinner. So you have your dinner during that time of year. You have your giving of presents that time of year. And what else?
And sports and banquets are celebrated with uproar.
And sports and banquets are celebrated with uproar. You notice on all these holy days, these holidays, they have your major sports with the major games on that particular day. It's no coincidence. It's the same rituals being celebrated from ancient pagan Rome. From ancient pagan Rome. From Babylon to Rome to America. Same exact thing. Read.
Oh, how much more faithful are the heathen to their religion.
How much more faithful are the heathen to their religion? So the heathens are more faithful to their belief and traditions than the believers of Christ. Because let me tell you, I don't care what people believe out there. Even if people don't go to church, they'll still celebrate Christmas. They'll still celebrate their holidays and their traditions. They are faithful to their superstitions and traditions. It's a part of life for them. But what about the children of Israel? Ask one of the children of Israel, when is the Passover? I mean, people will send emails. Hey, brother, when is the Passover? It was one time in our lives that we didn't ask, when is the Passover? We don't have to ask you, when is Christmas? We don't have to ask you, when is New Year? Okay? The pagans have overtaken the earth. Satan worshippers have made pagan worship a part of our natural life and tradition. Okay? It's to the point where now you hear the song and you know the song by heart and it's just in your head and you're bobbing and weaving with the song. Satan songs. Read on.
Oh, how much more faithful are the heathen to their religion.
How much faithful are the heathen to their religion? Read.
Who take no special care to adopt no solemnity from the Christians.
But yet, these pagans won't adopt anything from Christ. It's like those of Christ have to accept all this paganism that they're bringing. But they won't accept none of the customs of the Hebrews. We have to accept their Christmas. We have to accept their Easter. We have to accept their New Year's. But they don't have to accept our holy days. They don't have to accept our Sabbath. They can actually eat whatever they want to eat. They don't have to accept anything from us. So really, who did the compromising? We did the compromising. They didn't compromise.